Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Hi. Hi, personal comedy Jesus.
Well, hi, everybody. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month.
Oh, we're aware that we're losing ours. Hi, thanks.
So happy Mental Health Denial Month to the entire Trump family as well. Hello.
Yeah, it's Narcissistic Injury Week for Donald Trump. I literally had, as you know, sucked all the pecker jokes dry, and then we get Von and pants. It's not just it. Do we have it? Where's Jake Tapper? It's just having to hear anchors say it. Not only have we had a solid week of anchors saying pecker, but then...
I apologize for this update ahead of time.
Oh, boy.
But Todd Blanche, the Trump attorney, is specifically reading a post that Michael Cohen made on Twitter on April 22nd, in which he refers to Donald Trump as Von in pants. That is just a factual record that I'm bringing before you. This is in the court transcript.
Blanche! This is the scatological case. I mean, literally, this is the case where Donald Trump was so flatulent, a guy caught on fire outside the building. That's this case.
John Louise, Fugelsang. You tweeted, if Trump had shot a puppy in a gravel pit, MAGA would already have instructed that he only did it to keep us safe, and MAGA Christians would praise him for aborting that puppy up to heaven. We were just saying, Kristi Noem we just played sound bites of her and Hannity last night. She just keeps doubling and tripling down and changing her story.
Down. Yes, yes, it's fantastic. I love the story, and I love the media coverage of it too, because the media responded by talking about, throughout history, presidents have loved their dogs. FDR had Falla and Nixon and Hoover and LBJ, and it's like, that's not the point. And the media's like, well, look at her judgment is suspect. I mean, she really thought this was going to help her. She thought that telling the world she had murdered a puppy was going to make her more popular because the cruelty is the point.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, we knew her judgment was bad when she willingly had sex with Corey Lewandowski. That would be a deal breaker.
Shooting the puppy, only the second ickiest thing she's done.
Imagine sex with Corey Lewandowski is only the second most disgusting thing in your obituary. Maybe she did it for a reason. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, John, first of all, she just keeps making up his list of crimes. He's like Dog Hitler now, apparently.
This dog. He wore white after Labor Day and tore a tag off a mattress, this dog. I heard this dog committed bank fraud and tax fraud in the state of New York.
And paid off a porn dog. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
This dog stole classified wee-wee pads.
I loved your picture of Mike Johnson. This picture's from GOP's diversity night, and of course, it's just all white people, just like a snowstorm. Yeah.
Virginia Fox, shut up. Did you like seeing Mike Johnson try to make the racists love him again by coming to Columbia University and wagging his finger at Muslims and college students and non-white female university presidents? This is really fun. This is the week where, first off, can I just say, I love when the Riot Squad wears khakis. I'm a big fan of Casual Stormtrooper Wednesday is my favorite day. And it's bad when you're protesting deliberate starvation as a weapon of war against civilians, and the media won't cover that. They'll just cover your protest. And then the Riot Squad khaki division comes in, and as you're being beaten by a baton, you say, "Excuse me, officer, are those Bugle Boy jeans you're wearing?"
Can I just say, we've been talking about this, John, all week, as you have, I'm sure. There's just so many bad actors involved in this and outside agitators. And Lauren Boebert, I don't know if you saw this. First of all, this is the way I think the kids are going to be all right, is because they all started chanting Beetlejuice at her, which is just fantastic. But she went to George Washington University, and she was trying to rip down a Palestinian flag, which, first of all, didn't Ali Alexander, by the way, go to jail for ripping down a Black Lives Matter flag? Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to do that. That's someone else's, but if you're talking about property damage, that's someone else's.
That's why Ali Alexander went to jail? I thought it had something to do with sex with boys. I didn't realize.
Yeah?
Google it, people. Anyway. Google it.
But she tried to rip down a Palestinian flag, and she said, this is America, and that needs to come down. Really? Well, she didn't rip down any Israeli flags, and the Confederate flags and Nazi flags, are at all their rallies and Trump rallies. They don't seem to have a problem with that. They took down an American flag and raised a Trump flag on January 6th. And you've got a problem? By the way, this is America. That's exactly what America is. People's right to fly the Palestinian flag, to fly the flag of Israel.
Absolutely. And listen, if you're out there chanting "Death to America," "Death to Israel," you're a cretin. You're not helping the Palestinian cause one bit. And can I just say, I almost turned Republican when they occupied the Hamilton building. I live like 10 blocks away from here.
Right.
When they occupied the Hamilton building, and then the spokeswoman came out on behalf of the students, and this is when it jumped the shark and when they lost me, saying that they were demanding humanitarian aid. I'm like, you're not even talking about Palestine anymore. When I was in college, I was on student loans. Yeah. It was never, I was on a scholarship. Right. It was never an option for me to go to a protest where I broke stuff because I knew my parents would bail me out and just send me to another school.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The GOP is trying to take advantage of this and exploit these protests.
Yes.
No one's talking about the actual starvation as a weapon of war.
Yeah.
But this is the Republicans pretending they're outraged at anti-Semitism. This is the weak.
The people that say there's very fine people at Charlottesville.
Oh, the very fine people saying Jews will not replace us. And Nazi aficionados, Kanye West and Milo Yiannopoulos and Nick Fuentes. Oh, the party of the great replacement theory. And Donald Trump telling Jews about their dual loyalty. And Trump calling Israel your country to U.S. Jews. And Trump telling U.S. Jews to get your act together. And telling the Republicans, the Jewish Republicans, you're not going to support me because I don't need your money. We cannot allow Soros, Steyer, and Bloomberg to buy this election, and the Rothschild space lasers and Matt Gaetz and saying Hitler went a little too far. They're upset about anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and there's bad actors on all sides. This is like what Netanyahu wants, what Putin wants. Yes, there's people ginning that. Iran. Chris, you were talking about TikTok and China.
Media Matters has done a study, and they are allowing Biden misinformation posts, despite the fact that those kinds of posts are against TikTok policy.
Yeah. This is the problem.
We're going to see Joe Biden in revenge porn before we get to election.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you call it? Beetlejuice said it's time that, of course she's going to blame the black lady. She said, it's time Mayor Muriel Bowser gets aggressive in keeping safety here on this campus and the surrounding perimeter, adding the protesters were being very disrespectful because they chanted Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
It's not disrespectful to give out handy J's in front of children in a theater. It is disrespectful.
Yeah, when it's a real Jew hater, when you've got like a Milo Yiannopoulos, when you've got Charlie Kirk, when you've got these anti-Semites or Candace Owens who've said the most horrible anti-Jewish things, and they want to go speak on a campus, then it's a free speech issue. But when someone's protesting the actions of the civilian Israeli government that are literally killing children, we got to call in the National Guard. And they know exactly, when they talk about the National Guard, we're all going to think of Kent State. And that's exactly what they want us to think about.
And by the way, John, I keep saying all week, if Trump were in power, he would have already sent the National Guard in to look like a tough guy, and kids would be dead. And then forget what's going to happen to the Palestinian people if he's back in office. What's going
to happen to all Muslims in the world if he's back in office? Come on, protesters, I'm on your side, but this is not even close. Many of us are frustrated that the Biden administration seems to be working part-time for Benjamin Netanyahu, and people are frustrated. I understand. This will be long forgotten by election day.
I disagree with that. I think Biden
is doing everything he can. He's doing everything he can. And I know that when we had a ceasefire before Christmas, I give Biden all the credit for that. What I'm saying is it's not helping him in the campaign. It's not helping him in the campaign with young people he's going to need, and I think it's going to be resolved well before Election Day.
Yeah.
We can't lose sight of the real story here, which is the hypocrisy of the right wing on all of this, because they want a president who will cheer the slaughter of Palestinian people while banning other Muslims from ever coming to the country. Yeah. It's night and day on this, and Joe Biden on his worst day universe is better than Donald Trump on this issue and better for Muslim people.
It's like, I always quote you, it's like choosing between apples and Satan's white hot vomit, something like that.
Yeah, it's not apples and oranges. It's apples and flaming chunks of sulfuric Satan vomit. Yes, that's the choice here. But
you tweeted right wing Christians remind you that 1, Joe Biden's a monster for abandoning the poor people of Afghanistan, and 2, no way are we going to let those filthy Afghan refugees come over to infest our country and replace us. It's the same on every subject. They would not just not allow Palestinians here; they would eject every Palestinian that is here now. There are Republicans.
They'll pretend to care about them to hurt Joe Biden, and that's the difference. And when they bring up the Afghanistan withdrawal, which they're still trying to do, well, Biden and Trump, which one freed 5,000 Taliban from prison, and which one got 140,000 Afghans out of the country? I mean, it's how many Afghans did Donald Trump airlift? The answer is 0. How many Taliban did Joe Biden release? The answer is 0. We got to push back on all of this because people who don't care about Jews or Muslims are trying to divide us by pretending to care.
Yeah, and we asked them, John, maybe you have a thought on this. We were sort of just talking about that. I mean, this may be another edition, Chris, of these damn kids these days.
I tell you,
what are they doing?
Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
But I was just saying, why? I don't. I guess part of what I don't understand is why didn't they? What about Ukraine? Why didn't they, protest? Obviously, thousands and thousands of innocent Ukrainian women and children being killed by Russia, and Ukraine didn't attack Russia. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Right, but our tax dollars aren't subsidizing what Russia's doing to Ukraine. That's the difference. I mean, we're paying billions to attack Gaza, and we're paying millions to give relief to Gaza.
Like the Iraq War, we were all out in the streets protesting the Iraq War, but I don't remember campus protests. Like I'm just like, And
again, the Iraq War was, we protested.
That was our war, sending our kids in to die for lies, for a bunch of lies. So I understand the Vietnam protests, I understand the Iraq protests, but go ahead.
This is why the Republicans are full of crap when they're playing dove with Ukraine. The people who say, you Democrats used to be anti-war, but now you warmongers for Ukraine. No, we're the same. Y'all are the same. We oppose when a large country invades a smaller country that hasn't attacked us.
Right.
We opposed it when Bush did it. We oppose it when Putin does it.
Thank you.
But our Republicans are authoritarian lovers. They had no problem with Bush invading a smaller country. They have no problem with Putin doing it. They're still trying to blame Ukraine for the crimes, the rapes, the mutilations of Vladimir Putin.
Yep. This is what you hear.
There'll be penis jokes at the show, by the way. It's not going to be all this angry liberal shouting.
We had someone call that was at the Philly show. He said, I don't know if you could see us, but you guys all got a standing ovation. And I'm like, I did not see that. But John Fugelsang blew the roof off the Fillmore in Philadelphia.
No. Stephanie Miller was so great in this room. Bob Dylan just played this room last November. This is a rock and roll club, all right? And I think some people in this conversation were a little intimidated when they first saw we were playing a rock and roll club filled with beautiful
I was like, it looks like Roadhouse. Is Patrick Swayze here? I was like,
It was the perfect room for this tour.
Fantastic.
I loved playing in that room, and you killed, Stephanie.
You killed.
Great show in Philly.
Was there a chain link fence in between the stage and the people to stop the bottles from being thrown?
Surrounded by chicken wire for all the beer bottles being thrown at us during performance.
And we're going to be back home where Sexy Liberal was born at the Barrymore in Madison next Saturday. We cannot wait. Albuquerque the week after that. We've got Representative Mark Pocan in Madison. We've got Valerie Plame in Albuquerque, and amazing guests lined up for all the shows. SexyLiberal.com. I love you, John Fugelsang.
Let me tell you, this Madison show is going to be hotter than Tim Scott and Mandy's wedding night. Everybody come on down.
Oh, yeah.